So I stopped watching the intro while recording these episodes, so I'm not exactly sure when this change occurred. If you don't remember the original intro, you can check out my intro analysis here. As for the new intro, the background has a color overlay and the characters have an outer glow added to them. Gaara is red while Naruto and Sasuke are blue, signifying good versus evil, and after Gaara pulls up to his sand, Orochimaru's scleras are purple and his irises are glowing.
So, this is another Genin from the Sand Village.
Come on, Tenten, you can
This should be interesting to watch.
From the looks of it, Gaara sensed Neji was staring at him and decided to glare back. Honestly, I would have loved to see Neji versus Gaara. For some reason, a decent amount of people think Neji would get demolished by Gaara, but I don't think that's the case. The main argument I see pertains to Neji's speed. I'm no professional power scaler myself, but I do love reading versus debates. Here's my argument. 1. Neji isn't slow. His travel speed and combat speed may not be as good as Lee's, I'll grant you that, but Neji's reaction speed is nothing to joke about. In case you aren't aware, when I say travel speed, I mean how quickly Neji can get from point A to point B, say in a 100-meter dash. Combat speed refers to how fast Neji is when he's maneuvering in a fight. Neji's combat speed will always be lower than his travel speed since he isn't able to go full speed in a straight line. However, his reaction speed, aka fighting speed, paired with his Byakugan is what makes Neji so deadly. In episode 48, after Lee took off his weights, Neji was unfazed by Lee's speed. It's nothing Neji hasn't seen before, and Lee is incapable of beating Neji still. That means Neji can hang with Lee's speed. Remember, Lee's trump card for Neji was his 4th and 5th gate. That means Lee knew even his 3rd gate wouldn't be enough. 2. Neji can punch through Gaara's sand using his gentle fist. Lee was able to kick and punch Gaara's sand away. At one point, he even takes out a kunai and cuts the sand. Any argument that Neji can't slap the sand with his gentle fist is just flat out incorrect. While Rock Lee was able to overwhelm Gaara's sand armor using his 4th gate, Neji would be able to slice through Gaara's armor using his gentle fist. Neji doesn't need to get around Gaara's sand because he'll just go straight through it. Gaara can keep reinforcing his armor, that much is true. However, Kankurō noted that Gaara's armor is his weak point since it takes a huge amount of chakra to maintain it. Whether or not Neji's gentle fist could penetrate Gaara's armor and hit Gaara directly is another debate. 3. You may refer to the Sasuke retrieval arc when Neji was trapped inside Jirobo's Earth Dome for counter evidence against Neji's gentle fist working. But truth be told, Jirobo's Earth Dome is more durable than Gaara's sand. It's kinda hard to determine the strength of Gaara's sand dome since he only used it against Sasuke and Shigure. In all other cases, we see Gaara's sand getting slapped and dispersed. As I mentioned earlier though, 4th gate Lee does begin to disturb Gaara's condensed sand, aka his sand armor, with sheer force. Jirobo's Earth Dome is different. The rocks are extremely durable and sap the chakra from those that are trapped inside of it while constantly repairing itself. Gaara's sand doesn't do that. Also, all Neji does the whole time is use his Byakugan. At no point does he attack the rock with gentle fist, so we don't know if he could have affected the recovery rate at all. However, Neji did note that one strong attack was better for penetrating the wall versus several weaker ones, which is likely why he didn't try to attack the wall himself. His chakra was better spent using the Byakugan to provide intel for the team. 4. Neji versus Kidomaru. To hammer the point home, Neji can cut through Kidomaru's webs just like he'd cut through Gaara's sand. Neji even said himself, chakra-based substances don't stand a chance against his gentle fist. Gaara's sand can't mimic Kidomaru's sticky gold armor either, meaning Gaara is completely susceptible to gentle fist. Kidomaru's armor's unique trait is immunity to chakra. That means 8 trigrams, 64 bombs is going to work just fine, whether he's hitting Gaara's body directly or pressing the attack and breaking through Gaara's sand. 5. I'm putting these feats at the end since they come from Neji's fight against Kidomaru. Their purpose is to serve more as an example than an accurate measurement of Chunin Exams Neji's power. Neji's durability is freaking insane, at least when he's using his rotation. Rotation is done by emitting chakra from Neji's 361 Tenketsu points. When Kidomaru's web stops Neji from using his rotation, the kunai still gets repelled by coming into contact with Neji's chakra since it formed a shield around his body. After that, Neji gave up on using his rotation and started using 64 palms for his defense. By doing so, he was able to defend himself from the spiders. I know in the anime, he uses 128 palms, but my point still remains. Neji is moving insanely fast while he's striking. He's no slouch when it comes to speed. Kidomaru even gives props to Neji's reaction time and sensory abilities during their fight. Neji does start getting tagged once Kidomaru finds Neji's blind spot, but Gaara wouldn't be able to overwhelm Neji with high-speed attacks from all directions like that. Gaara attacks by lumping all his sand together and yeeting it at the target. That's not gonna work against Neji. Gaara's sand isn't fast enough to blitz Neji either. This is Neji dodging Kidomaru's attacks. I'm well aware that some time has went by, so yeah, all the characters got a little stronger, but you get my point. Chunin Exams Neji isn't slow either. Ultimately, the fight only comes down to a few abilities. Neji is going to be constantly using his Byakugan, gentle fist, and 8 trigrams rotation. Gaara is going to be constantly using his sand armor while manipulating the rest of his sand since that's really all he does anyway outside from the occasional body flicker. The winning condition I have for Neji is forcing out Shukaku. With that said, I'd say Neji takes it 9 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
Alright, Tenten, keep her guessing!
Go for it! You've got the power of youth!
Come on, Tenten, send that girl back to her village on a stretcher! We are right behind you all the way, Tenten!
Let's hear it! 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Tenten!
How'd I get stuck in the cheering section? Come on! What was that? And you call yourself an Uchiha? Way to go! Go, Sakura! You can do it! Don't lose! You're doing awesome, Sakura! Awesome! Believe it! You gotta get out of there quick! Do it already, Sakura! Attack! You worked so hard to get here, Sakura! Don't disgrace yourself now by losing to that lame Ito girl!
Tenten is carefully determining her distance. Just what I'd expect from her. She's well positioned to attack or defend.
I don't know about that one. Tenten putting space in between her and Temari would ordinarily be a good idea, but Temari is a mid to long range fighter, so Tenten's best chance would be to get in close. It's not like Tenten would have fared much better in close range though. This fight is a level 50 Temari versus a level 2 Tenten.
What is going on? How could she have missed? It is incredible!
It's impossible. Tenten's aim is perfect. She always hits her mark.
Not this time, she didn't.
She never misses. There must have been something that made her miss.
Huh?
Rock Lee, Might Guy, and Neji really didn't see Temari move? Because that's what this scene is implying and it doesn't make any sense. Hey, I've seen this technique before. Tenten must watch the flash as well. I love how subtle Temari's movements are. Rock Lee, Neji, and Might Guy should still be able to see them though.
No way! She stopped everything I threw! What has she got in that fan of hers?
Gee, I don't know, Tenten. Maybe she's a wind specialist considering the giant fan on her back. I don't usually reference the manga since I'm overanalyzing the anime, but I'm glad the anime gave us a fight. The only problem I have is how fodder Tenten appears to be. Neji trusted her enough to run off alone in the forest of death, and she's so easily countered. I thought with her being a weapons expert, she'd be able to fight at any range. Considering how Neji was surprised to see how fodder Sakura and Ino were at the beginning of their fight, I'm assuming Tenten never spars with Neji and Rock Lee, so she isn't even good at taijutsu. In fact, in the memory, she's sitting on the sideline watching Lee get folded. Literally all she can do is replicate the random bullshit go meme. Shikamaru was right. The fight was over when it started. You know you lost when your opponent is watching you power up. Tenten's twin rising dragon jutsu is actually pretty cool. The dragons rising remind me of that scene from Avatar when Zuko and Aang were dancing with the final 2 dragons. Tenten is literally using video game combo mechanics to stay in the air, and I don't know how I feel about it. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, Tenten was hard countered in this matchup. Her only chance was if she were proficient in taijutsu or kenjutsu. Tenten could be the next Robin with all these stunts she's pulling. Also, I'm going to assume these are some sort of chakra test that she's using to perform this jutsu since she's not holding on to any strings. They aren't blue like chakra usually is, but she definitely wasn't holding on to a bunch of strings while throwing all those weapons. There also aren't nearly enough threads to latch onto all the weapons. Not sure why Tenten thought that was going to work. Temari has been nonchalantly repairing all of her attacks thus far without using her full fan. Since Temari blew all the ninja tools away before they got to her, how exactly did they land all around her? I know this scene comes before Obito's chronologically, but Obito is my favorite character, so Temari stole this from Obito. Don't argue with me, I don't make the rules. Temari TPing behind Tenten was so unnecessary, but I love the flex. Temari and Gaara enjoy playing around with their opponents a lot more than Kankurō does. You know, I'm no doctor, but considering the height she fell from, I'm pretty sure her spine is done for. It seems out of character for Lee to attack Temari like this. It also seems like this is only done to make Temari look way stronger since Lee was able to doodle bop Sasuke. Also, if you direct your attention to Temari, she looks surprised because she genuinely didn't expect Lee to attack her.
Temari, forget them. The match is over, so get up here. You won. Why are you wasting your time with that pathetic loser and his ridiculous mentor? What?
Gaara really thinks he's hot shit and that he can beat anybody. It's a shame Rock Lee didn't put him in his place.
A word of warning. You sand villagers have no idea what Lee is capable of. Remember, he still hasn't fought yet. So I'd be careful if I were you.
Gaara's anger is understandable, but Neji's reaction is what stands out to me. You may think he's frowning just to frown, but I have a different take. I think he's frowning because my guy is hyping up Lee as if he's better than him. Neji doesn't know about the 8 inner gate, so despite Lee's combat speed, he's still farther than Neji.
That kid's crazy picking a fight with them.
Those Sand Village guys are trouble. They're the last people I'd want to go up against.
Is that so, Kiba? This you?
Do you think Shino will be alright?
He's okay. Don't you worry about him.
Huh?
He's the last person here I'd ever want to take on.
Oh, thanks, by the way. If you hadn't called out when you did, who knows what would have happened? If it hadn't been for you, I might not still be here.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, you little...
A wholesome moment for Sakura. She didn't have to thank Naruto after the fact, but she did it anyway. I enjoy the humor as well. I thought Naruto was going to blush, but instead he's just like, yep, pretty much.
Remember, he manipulates shadows. Watch the shadows.
You think I'd ever fall for a stupid jutsu like that?
Shikamaru has actually had a huge disadvantage in this fight. Ken saw his bread and butter jutsu while Shikamaru has no idea what Ken is capable of.
Yeah, okay! Here we go, Shikamaru! Make that little girl cry!
Oh man, this is such a drag. I mean, give me a break. I've gotta fight a girl.
Yeah, you just keep thinking that way, little man.
Why are they calling each other little? Shikamaru and Ken are literally the same height. They're both around 5 feet tall. You may think Shikamaru is an idiot for leading off with the shadow projection jutsu, but I'd have to disagree. Shikamaru has nothing to lose from using it. Well, he has chakra to lose, but that's beside the point. The shadow projection jutsu is the safest way for Shikamaru to gather intel on Ken.
What? Where? Threads? Oh man.
Too late!
Ken's threads are actually believable, unlike Tenten's. Don't at me on it.
You see, you don't ever ask for whom the bell tolls, because it tolls for thee. This bell sends off a peculiar sound vibration that travels to the outer and inner ear, then directly to the brain. First comes paralysis, and soon you'll start hallucinating.
Not that I'm claiming to be smarter than Shikamaru, because I'm not, but considering she's a sound ninja that uses bells, he should have realized the bells served a greater purpose than sound trickery. This isn't the only time Shikamaru ends up in this situation, by the way. During the Sasuke Uchiha arc, he also gets matched up against a ranged genjutsu user. The Senbon instantly drew blood when they hit Shikamaru this time, but the last time they didn't even leave a mark.
Look at that thread you're holding. Don't you find it a little strange that it would even cast a shadow at this height?
Unless you're a sensory ninja, I doubt anyone would have noticed that. Props to Shikamaru. This scene had me going crazy. Shikamaru couldn't have known Ken was a ranged fighter or that she was going to use a thread. That means after quickly analyzing the battlefield, he was able to formulate his plan and execute it without any problems. He even thought up a one-liner.
And that's what I call using your head.
Shikamaru outplaying Ken and his explanation afterwards were huge factors to him becoming a Chunin. He went into this fight with zero intel while the enemy had intel on him, yet he was able to keep his cool, analyze the battlefield, and act accordingly. I like this episode. It's a real shame Tenten got bodied so hard, but it is what it is. It was fun to see Shikamaru in action again. During the Force of Death, he was made out to be a lazy coward who needs his team to fight. This episode, we get to see what Shikamaru is truly capable of. If you made it this far, you 100% enjoyed the episode so much that I bet you already hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't, well, do it. Otherwise, Rock Lee will forever be down bad, and you wouldn't want that. I'll see you all in the next episode. Deuces. Ninja art and the video jutsu.